is a networking group of collaborative network business owners around the world, and we meet every fortnight for 1 hour. And we split that time up evenly between the members and the guests to talk about who we are, what we do, and how we help our clients. And today, what we do is, because we don't have time to do a presentation in those meetings, we give our members and guests the opportunity to present live across all of our networks in this 1 hour presentation slot. And we've got a special bonus today. Normally we have 2 people on the chat show. We've got 3. We've got Brian, who's going to be doing his presentation. I'm going to be talking about diversity and inclusion. And we've also got Beverly, who's popped in, and she's going to be talking all things about the metaverse and the wonderful things that you can do there. But first of all, we're going to start with Brian, and what Brian can do, he can share his screen, and this is broadcast live across my LinkedIn and Facebook pages with over 10,000 followers across there. And this is also recorded and saved on those profiles, so you can watch them back whenever you like. We also record it for our members and guests so they can go and use that in their presentations, in their marketing as well. So Brian, whenever you're ready, my friend, you can share the screen and take it away, mate.
Okay, so you should be seeing it now, I believe.
Nope.
Or have you got the...
no share at all.
Oh dear, no share. Don't you hate that?
I do. Yeah, it's all right. It happens every time, and it's always the awkward moment of trying to find the slide. Oh, by the way, Brian, we can see your emails. We can't really, but normally that's what happens. We can see your slides. You need to click that from the beginning, and you can take it away, mate.
Okay. So you should see that nice big slide with the lump of rock in the middle.
You are perfect to go.
Excellent. Hi, everyone. My name is Brian Duckworth, and here today to talk to you about the crucial levers for all businesses. Now, and these are the levers that business owners need to optimize. And they're what I call a force multiplier. Knowledge of these levers, their application, will act as a force multiplier to enable your business to outperform the competition when applied correctly. Now, who am I? I'm Brian Duckworth. I'm a CPA. I'm what's called a hybrid virtual CFO, because as you can see in the logo, we look after the money, marketing, and people. Certified practicing accountant for more years than I can account. 4th degree black belt in Taekwondo. I've owned, operated, and sold my own business. So I'm an experienced C-suite executive, and I work with small, medium enterprises. So over the last few years, there's been a plethora of information passed on social media, to the extent that it's confused people on what they do. Business owners have turned to social media to grow their businesses. Everything has to be on socials. And to an extent, this is true, because there are, according to the latest survey from Global Web Index, there's 4.8 billion people on social networks. That's astounding, half the population of the world. But unfortunately, and most often, this is used very poorly with no strategy and ineffective tactics, which is why you always hear that comment, oh, Facebook ads don't work. Oh, they work for me. Oh, no, they won't work in my industry. And the fallacy is that there is never just one thing to focus on to grow your business. And you need to understand the core drivers of the business. Now, there's 3 things we want to understand before we move into the details of the 5 levers. Firstly, it's understanding the power of compounding, then the 80-20 rule, and then the levers themselves. So compounding is small incremental changes producing big results. So there's a very old story. It's been around for years, so I feel confident in telling it to you again if you haven't heard it. If you take a penny and double it every day, so day 1, you've got 1 penny or 1 cent or $1. Day 2, you've got 2, then 4, 8, 16, mathematical progression up to day 30, you'll have $5.3 million. Lovely, just what we need. So it's important to understand that small incremental changes give you the big results. Next is the 80-20 rule. So 20% of what you do contributes to 80% of your revenue, profit, or outcome. Known as Pareto's principle or Pareto's law, and it underpins the importance of focusing your energy on those aspects of your business that give you the best results. It doesn't mean you ignore everything else. It's about prioritizing your focus and tasks and then solving the problems that reveal themselves due to that focus. And this particular graphic is probably the best I've come across that illustrates the principle. On the left, we have where we're putting our effort. On the right, the result. So 20% gives us 80%. That's what we want to see. So let's move on to the force multiplier. So it's also been known as the 5-step profit formula. It's been around for a while, as most things have. Nothing's new in the universe these days, it seems. So we need to get more leads. Leads are the oxygen for any business. We then have to convert those leads into customers, get more transactions from those customers, get higher prices, and therefore have more profit. So let's look at a baseline, just as an example. So we have 1,000 leads, we convert 25% of them, we manage to get 10 transactions from them, and our average sale price is $100. Working that formula, 25% profit, we'll end up with $62,500 profit. But what if we increased every one of those levers by 10%? Well, we'd have 1,100, 27.5, 11, 110, 27.5, and we'd have a profit of 100,490, about 60-odd%. But what if we increased all of them by 50%? And let me assure you, that's not unusual. Majority of clients will be at the upper end of between 10 and 50. And then, of course, you have the outliers that are even higher. So, but let's look at 50%. So 50%, $1,500. 1,500 leads. We convert 37.5% of those, and we increase the transactions to 15 per client. We increased our prices, our average sale price, to 150. And our profitability, we increased by 37.5. That gives us a quite astounding $474,000 worth of profit. And let's not look at the percentages that we'd need to calculate that. So how is this possible? I mean, it looks mathematically, it's correct. Well, we're very fortunate. We have a software system that's been built by my colleagues, the group I'm part of, called Profit Acceleration. If you go to that website, you can actually do your own and just see what it does for your business. So our force multiplier is, we start by looking at the business. So we put in some basics around our business. So in our baseline, we have $250,000 revenue, 40% gross profit margin, 25% net profit, and we're Australian dollars. We've then got 12 areas where we can make a difference to our business. Now, there's not just 12. There's actually one group of 40, and then specifically on digital, a group of around 13. So, but we'll just focus on the 12 for this exercise. So the 12, next we choose our impact. Are we going to put in 1% increase, 10%, more? So let's put in 5%. Now, in our baseline, we said 10%. We've said 5% here. And we've also not going to cut our costs. So we're taking that out. And a bit of a sidebar here. Whenever you cut costs, that change you make goes straight to your bottom line. So if we put out 5%, we've got an increase of 79,302. So current revenue has jumped from 250 to 427. Current profit jumped from 62.5 to 141, and a 5-year profit impact of 396. So why is this so? Well, it's all about compounding, the small incremental changes. We looked at our penny example. Now, in our software, we use the power of software, and we have 497 million weighted algorithmic sequences. Now, what that means is every change we make to every element will impact the previous and the subsequent. And that's the power of compounding. So how do we do that? Now, you recall the 12 different areas that I mentioned? Well, under leads, we get more leads through market dominating position, drip campaigns, digital marketing. We increase conversions with compelling offers and downsell. We get more transactions through bundling, cross-sell, and JVs. We get higher prices through upsell, additional products and services. And we get more profit by cutting costs and increasing prices. Now, unfortunately, there's an elephant in the room. And that elephant is all about higher prices. Everyone thinks when you talk about higher prices, my customer won't pay 10% more for his widget. And unfortunately, everyone's focused on that. First thing is, of course, you won't lose all your customers. Yes, you'll lose some, but they're probably the ones that were your worst customers of all. You'd have to lose, I think it's around, when you do the math, it's around 30% of your customers to start losing money. That's never going to happen. But we must focus on the average sales value per transaction. And let's look at McDonald's. Everyone knows McDonald's. If you order a Big Mac and just a Big Mac, they are going to ask you, would you like fries with that? Would you like a drink? With fries is worth, I think, worldwide over $1 billion. You've already ordered a meal, so you've got all three. The next question is, would you like to supersize it? That is how McDonald's make their money. And that's what you have to put into your business. Take a computer retailer. Now, average computer, let's say it's $1,000. And you've sold that to the customer. It's unlikely you're going to be able to put $200 extra on that. That's a 20% price increase. In fact, a 10% price increase is going to be a little bit tricky. There's a lot of competition because computers are now commodities. What the computer seller needs to do is ask the client, would he like fries with that? What goes with a computer? Well, a nice little wireless mouse, $149. Golly gosh, that's a 15% increase in revenue. Not too shabby. That's how we increase the average sales value from $100 per sale to $150, not by just blanket increasing the price. Yes, we do increase price, and we've got a very, very effective sales letter to do that, because you have to give people a reason, and people are reasonable. If you communicate, they don't mind quite as much. That is the elephant in the room for most small businesses, and that is the one we solve in spades. So we've got that. So next question, of course, people ask is, oh, well, that works for your business or the example business. Will it work in my business? Well, the short answer is 100% yes. Works because of the 80-20 rule, and it works on your business when you focus on your business. So how do we implement this software? Well, we spend around 90 minutes with a client. This is just general. We ask a lot of questions. And just coming from those questions, you'll probably learn so much about your business that you've forgotten, misplaced, didn't consider. It's quite amazing. We then take all that data, decompose it, analyze the results, put it through the financial profit acceleration software, create a highly detailed report, an implementation schedule, because if there's not an implementation schedule, it won't get done, and a prioritization matrix. What do you need to do first? And it's not necessarily the one that'll give you the most revenue return or profit return, and some can be done at the same time. So you now know after that what to work on next and what the expected outcome will be. Now, I imagine some of you think, oh yeah, this is the cost, $5,000. Well, no, it doesn't. The standard fee when I do these for a walk-in customer that needs it is $1,597. Now, Bobby's a really hard negotiator, as you might expect. And he's asked me to do something extra special for all of you here today. So if you want your force multiplier analysis, $297, done and done. Just email your details through to me at coach@bduckworth.au, say BBC offer, and you'll be in. Or alternatively, reach out to Bobby and he'll pass you on. So there are the contact details, my contact details. If you want to run the sim on your own, which we do allow, you don't get all the Q&A, the questions, the insights that we will bring to it. You just get your thoughts. Go to that website and you'll be able to put in your data. So, Bobby, I'm sure you've got plenty of questions.
Yes, definitely. Great presentation, Brian. I love the figures, and especially when you talk about that percentage increase. And I know you've spoken about that before in some of our networking events as well, and how even just the smallest of increases can affect your bottom line in a positive way. But with that Pareto law, is that how you say it? How do you track that? What would you say you'd have to do to make sure that that 80% of your income is coming from 20% of the effort?
Most businesses don't actually track anything. It's valuable. So, for example, if let's say you're a B2B person that sells product to a factory, you'll probably find when you go through your sales details that 20% of your products create 80% of your revenue. Likewise, if you look at who buys the most from you, you'll see pretty much the same formula. And you need to look at that. What it then does is say, okay, we're selling widget A to this company. What goes with widget A that they probably need and they may buy from someone else? So you add that, and that's called bundling. So an increase of sales.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's really getting into the analytics of your business. Most business owners don't have the time to do that, or alternatively, uncertain where to start. It's one of the things that we do. And if you're holding stock, the same thing applies. Probably 20% of your stock is generating 80% of your transactions. So how do you get it so it's the other way around? You get rid of that stock, and this comes into the money side of my business, where we look at things like that. We look at the stock turnover. How old is the stock? because something that is 6 months old sitting on your shelf in your store isn't going to help anyone. It's cash tied up, so it's a cash flow issue for a start. It's a customer issue because customers will stop coming to see you because it's the same old stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get rid of it if it's not selling by whatever means. Get something new and fresh in there so that when customers come in, they see something nice, something fresh, something dynamic, rather than, oh, I saw that last week and it hasn't changed. In fact, the dust still, oh, there's more dust on it, so that's changed. But it's the whole business nexus that you've got to look at.
Yeah.
And that's how you apply the 80-20 rule all the way through.
Thank you so much for that, Brian. And the McDonald's thing as we wrap up, it's amazing. Like when you put it on the screen, and I thought about when I go to McDonald's, because it's one of my faves, that you know, I buy a meal, I then buy an extra 6 nuggets, but I need an extra sauce. And so all these things, and they're going, oh, thank you so much, cha-ching, cha-ching. And so, you know, I'm going to look through my products and see what else I can offer as an add-on and to be able to increase that. So thank you so much for your time and your presentation. And guys, if you're watching this and you need me to do an intro to Brian, I'm happy to do that. All the details are on the screen. Brian, if you want to stop sharing your screen, and we're going to go over to Beverly. Beverly, whenever you're ready, once Brian's finished, you can share your screen and you're on mute just in case you start to talk.
Okay. I know that dreaded mute button sometimes, right? It just can grab you when you least expect it. It was a great talk there, Brian. I really enjoyed, you know, what you said. And again, it always fascinates me, that small percentage and how huge that can be to take your business to those other levels, right?
Absolutely.
You know, and so when you're looking with what you do and how you do it, everyone can ask themselves that question, like, where do I need to be to make my business do what it wants to do? What is the next and the latest, greatest going on in technology? And that's what I want to talk a little bit about today. So I'm going to pull up a screen here in just a little bit. Get my screen situated. I'm going to take my Zoom and move you over here to the other screen and share with you something that's going to be, I got to wave at you to get my camera going here in the metaverse. So I am going to stand up, and my avatar now is going to take over, and she is going to share with you what is going on in the world of technology. So let me share my screen. All right, I think you can see her right now.
Yep, I can see. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah.
All right. And, you know, this is all without a headset, right? This is on what's called a Connect camera. So I can move around in here. I can be on stage. I can walk. I can talk. And anyone can join me. So it's called the world of the avatar. And it was virtual reality before the word metaverse came into being, probably a year and a half, 2 years ago. And just to kind of make sure everyone understands that the metaverse is not owned by anyone. So it encompasses everything that's digital. So the show that we're on here, the Zoom, what I'm showing you, all of that's part of it. Your phone, everything. So when I talk about virtual reality and why I got into the business was I did events all over, and I did shows and workshops. I'm a holistic practitioner, and I traveled the country teaching how to keep your body healthy and clean, and without having to say starve yourself, because a lot of people think, oh gosh, if I'm doing healthy, I can't eat this and I can't do this and all these type of things. It's not. And it's not about going to the gym every day. It's not about only eating certain foods at certain times of the day. And it's not a difficult thing. It's when you understand how the workings of the body happen. So being in that industry for over 45 years, I've learned a lot and I've seen a lot. And so to work with you on another scale, when when my classes started to shut down because people weren't what we call putting the butts in the seats, it's like, oh my gosh, now what? And this was the days before Zoom. And I got involved with virtual reality, and I'm thinking, wow, this could really work. Because when you come into that space, hey, look what your avatar looks like you, walks like you, talks like you, does all these great things. And we're in the same room, side by side. So 1 month before COVID hit, I started working in this space with a friend of mine, and we actually went into business together. And we were doing great. We had shows in here where we were doing trade shows. We had people on the stage talking. And, like Brian was saying, that little bit, a little bit, a little bit more of percentage was great. And to sell from the stage and have someone over at your booth where you could send people just like you do in the brick and mortar world, you can do that here in the virtual reality space. It's a little tough to do it in a Zoom because where are you going to send them? And how are you going to know if you want to send them to a breakout room? It's a little tough. And this space stays open 24/7. So what you're looking at behind me here is a gallery. So if you have artwork that you would like to show off, we teach you how to turn your artwork into NFTs, put them out there on the blockchain, and you can have a space like this where you can launch that. We can highlight different artists and they can share their artwork, and people can come in and actually meet the artist from around the world, so you don't have to fly to get here. That's the cool thing about it. So what we're looking to do in the whole virtual reality space is to save money and make money and save time, be efficient, effective, and then go out and have a lot of fun. And all that time that you save, because time is the one thing that's valuable that you never get back. You can always get money back if you lose it, but you can never get time back. So when you can come in here and do business on every scale, on every level, it doesn't matter what business it is that you do. You don't have to sit in airports anymore. You don't have to sit in hotel rooms. You don't have to put on these massive conventions that cost sometimes millions of dollars that people fly into from all around the world. And then when the show is over, they tear it down. And then the next time they want to do another convention show, what happens? They have to build it up again and put out another $1 million or whatever the case might be. In here, you can build it once. And you can have conventions every quarter. So that's the efficiency and the effectiveness of it. And to be able to speak your word and get it out there. And if you're an author, you could do the same things that someone here who is an artist, and have your books on display and do book signings. So it's really endless what you can do in this space. If you can create it up here in the 6 inches between your ears, we can bring it to the big screen and bring it to life. And we start where you are. And we move right along with you. So maybe you just want to tip your toes in the water a little bit and just kind of have a small event, which is great. And then it gets bigger and bigger. And maybe you want to own property. Digital property now, digital real estate. Wow, it's off the charts. We can get you digital real estate in here where you can build your own business on it and you own it. That says a lot. So it's endless. I could go on for hours and hours and hours. We only got 15 minutes here. And
actually, Beverly, I want you to, I think I haven't seen anything, I know about it, but this is the first time I've seen it real in my eyes, not your eyes, obviously, with the head on. But I would like to learn more about this. I think there's so many people out there in my network who probably wouldn't even seen this before, and so I'm happy for you to continue just to talk, well, maybe shows around and talk about it if you can do that. I'm happy for you to take more time, and I'd love to see more of it, because I think it's like seeing it for the first time here, and I'm watching that little yellow thing in the corner, and the fact
Okay, that little yellow thing is my
every movement is perfect. So it's
that's called the Connect camera.
Mhm.
And so, you know, when I watch it, I know where I'm at if I'm getting out of range when I'm walking, right? That I'm not going to go off the screen, and then all of a sudden my avatar freezes, boop, and I stand like this, you know. So let me take you into another space and give you a little idea too of what it looks like in some of the other spaces. So let's go to the expo, seeing how we were talking a little bit about the expo, right? So we'll click on that. Okay, so now you see in the corner, it's a little white person. So I need to wave at the camera and say, hey, I'm here. Now I'm yellow and now I'm moving. So this is another space where you can be on stage and you have a presentation because the screen drops by. We could actually even do a musician in here because we got all different kinds of lights as we can put up there on the screen, which is really pretty cool. On the seats, there's a little circle there. If I put my mouse on it, it turns blue and I can actually sit down, right? So I'll move back out this way a little bit. So you can have a group watching you up here on stage. Oh, wow, I'm off my chair. Okay, let's go to the stage. And this is called a little teleport. You'll see this little purple thing show up here. Oh, let me get it this way. Here we go. Oh, great. Now, why isn't that going? Oh, well, that's technology for, oh, I know what it is. I have to be standing up. I think that's what it is. There we go. Now I'm on stage, right? So I can walk on this stage and I can turn around and walk, you know, all different kinds of directions. And I can have that audience out there that I'm talking with, which I'm going to be doing 3 workshops in here, one on the 25th of the month and one on the 29th, and then August 3rd, where I'll be teaching about health and inviting your people to come and join me. And I'll have some bonuses for them, you know, at the end of the conversation here. But you can see how simple and easy it is to be able to work in here and do what you want to do on stage.
Can I jump in and ask you a question just in there for a second?
Sure, go ahead.
So the room that you're in now, and how long would it take someone to create that room with the chairs and the screen and the lights? How long would that take?
It would take just asking, I would like to do an event in this room. It's already created. So all we have to do now is put your logos in here and your information, and it's ready to go.
Got it.
Was that fast enough?
Way too quick. I still can't get it in my head. Just like, what happens if I wanted to create? Because I like designing stuff, and I'd like to, you know, creating something like this would be really cool. If I wanted to go and create a room of my own, is that pretty simple, or is that a whole educational piece?
It's basically what we do is we'll go through a needs assessment with you, and we'll ask you what it is that you want the space to do and what you want it to look like, and then we'll design it out, you know, in how you want it, and then we have our creators put it all together. And so just depends on how big you want this world to be and what it is that you want it to do, because every movement in here, everything that's going on in here, you know, there's codes that go on behind the scenes. So to make the lights work and that type of thing, to make the people sit down in the chairs, there's a lot of different coding. So we just need to know what it is. And yes, you can customize. And if you want to own property, we can sell you property and go through that needs assessment as well. So there's a lot of different things that we can do. Like I said, we start small and we go as big as you want to go.
Thank you.
And then let me turn this around, because this is kind of like a dual in here, where you can see way over there on the other side is the trade show. So let's take a trip over to the trade show. And again, all I need to do is put my little teleporter out there, and oh, it's not going to let me teleport off the stage. So I will just jump down off that stage, jump over the fence. That's what I love in here. You never get hurt, and you can just pretty much go wherever you want to go. And sometimes you can't go where you want to go. This is what makes it fun in here, you know. And it's not about getting upset or get stressed out. It's about making it happen the way you want to make it happen, right? And there we go. Now I jumped over the fence. See, it just had to step back, take a breath, and go forward. So now we're going to head over into where the actual expo is. And as I come up on the screen, you can see a video popped up. So when you get in close range in here, these videos will pop up. So whoever owns this booth can have their video on talking about them and what they do. And they can also have their information over here on the side, which takes them to a website or a buy page, whatever the case might be.
So if this was a live expo right now, in theory, we would see someone else stood at that stall, but they would be a virtual person.
Yeah, they would be in an avatar form just like I am.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I'm assuming as well, if there were 100 people in this expo, we would see all the avatars just walking around as if you were in a normal face-to-face expo, and you can just walk past people, you can talk to people as if they were really there.
Exactly. Yeah. So we have spatial sound in here, meaning that you can hear each other in the world. I'll show you some of the settings here of what can happen. You know, some of the different things that we do. So we have a chat room. We have, come up here. So you can type in here and you can say hello to whoever's in the room, and it's there. If you want to know who the contacts are in the room, you can click on this. Or this isn't controls. So it tells you how to walk and move around in here. And your social is what's going to show you who's in the room. So currently right now, I'm the only person that's in here. But if I wanted to see who my friends were, I can go to the friends list and I can tell if they're on here. This little red button would be green. Mm-hmm. And if they were somewhere else in the event, and there's a lot of avatars in here running around, how do I find them really fast? All I need to do is click this little thing right here that says TP, and it just brings me right beside them. And then if you get somebody obnoxious in here, all you got to do is hit the X and they poof and like disappear. Right? So
will that also show you if that person at the top, DNA elite, was let's call it online in my terminology, online but not in the expo, could you still do the same thing? Could you still click that button and it will take you to them wherever they are in the metaverse?
No, it would just take them into the event that we're in.
Okay.
If he's in the event, somewhere in the event, it would take you there. But if he's in a different event, it won't take you over to that.
Got you. Cool. Okay.
That was a good question. And then our emotes can do a lot of different things as well. I'm going to take my Connect camera off here and I'll show you some of the dance moves that we can make in here. So I take the camera off here for a second and bring you in. And let's go to, that's a crazy dance. And this is cheering, right? And so this is another dance.
And what kind of events have you been to personally can be anything. It could be just a social event. It can be a business event. What kind of things to give the people who are watching this an idea of what you can create or what you can go and do within the metaverse?
Oh gosh, if you just use your imagination, you pretty much go do just about anything and everything that you could think of. I could take you into another space here. Let me take you into like a boardroom. And this is a nice setting to be in for the simple fact that, I'll turn this around here. This is really good if we're looking for maybe doing a mastermind group, or if you're doing coaching, group coaching, or you just want to have like a little networking event type of thing, you could come in here. So I could actually teach a class in here. So these are the events that I'm doing right here, where people, all they'd have to do is come up here and click on that. Oh,
who's
and
that?
we have someone that joined us. This is actually the gentleman who did the building,
Oh,
right? So you can see somebody can just pop in when you least expect it.
that's so funny.
So I'm going to say, hello, Jason.
Oh, he's not. He's gone. He's like, see you later. This lady's talking to herself.
So, but you get the idea of, the different spaces that you can go into, right?
So this space that you're in, that you're showing us now, right now, is this a space that you are going to say own, if that's the right word? So this is something that this is your product as a business, is it?
You could, yes. And yeah, you could own something like this and make it yours. And then you could have, all of your taglines, your logos, banners, everything here. You could sell intellectual property, here to sponsors and have their information on your walls.
And is there a space where you can go where there's just the general public, there's people around, and you can just go into that part and go and speak to people or do whatever you want? Is like a social aspect to it as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting. And the equipment that you've got on now, can you just run through with what type of equipment you need to be able to get started?
Yeah. Let me come back to the brick and mortar space here and find my stop share screen. I'll sit down here for a minute.
Oh, we're back to live.
Pull my chair back up. There we go, right? Yeah, so it's PC compatible. And not everyone has a PC. We do have some Mac users out there. And but you can also get on with a Mac, but you're going to need to use a third party like Shadow Tech, which is the computer in the sky. And even if you've got an older PC where the video card may not be really up to par, and you don't want to spend $3,000, $4,000 on another computer, using the computer that's up in the cloud is really a great investment. For I think it runs around $30 a month, something like that, which gives you high-speed internet. So you're using that computer up in the sky with all of its technology that's always being upgraded continuously, and for the cost, and you can use it in every program that you do. So when you come on a Zoom and someone finds a lag time, right? If you are using the computer in the shadow in the sky like that, you don't have that lag time. So your uploads and your downloads are quicker, and it just kind of makes life easy. And so it's a great investment. So it is PC compatible. Once things get rolling, a lot more, we will actually open up. We do have a way to get onto the Mac itself, because it's a whole different code. Macs are different from PCs, just like links and all of that, right? Go figure. It's really it's a high cost to us with the servers, and that's the cost that are the server costs, which is like keeping your electricity on. And so until we get a lot of big interest with the Macs, we're going to stay with the PC right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so what technology do you have on your, I know you were talking about some sort of a camera that you've got. So what is it that you need to have to be able to get into the world that you were just in?
The world that to get in now, you don't need the Connect camera that I did, because your avatar can still walk and talk and do all that stuff. She's just not going to have the arm movements and things like I did. You can also use the Oculus VR headset. That is compatible in here right now as well. I personally don't like to put this heavy thing on, and it would really make it difficult for me to talk with you with that thing on and try to move around. And for me, it makes me dizzy. Not everybody gets dizzy with it, but I do. And so the Connect camera was a really good solution for me.
And so when a minute ago when you were in there, all you were doing was just using your normal webcam. Is that right? Well, not the Connect part, but if so, we didn't have the Connect camera. What do we need to have? Is it just a normal webcam, and we just have to log into the server?
Yeah, it just goes like if you have a laptop, and it's the camera that's in the laptop, that's all you need. I have a desktop and I have an exterior camera.
Yeah.
And then my headset, that's where my voice comes in, and the speaker on it. You could use a headset like what you've got, or if you've got, the ones that sit on the desk. So you don't really need any fancy equipment other than what you already have. If you're doing a Zoom right now, you can get in here, and it's
I
a
thought
link.
it was you had to have everything on, and I noticed you didn't. I was like, how are you doing that? So that's so cool. Brian, do you have any questions? I know I'm asking loads of questions because I'm so intrigued, but Brian, do you have any questions at all?
No, likewise. It's similar in one respect to the business gym world, but in a more, dare I say it, humanoid way.
Yeah, it's more of a real world. Whereas, so we have one of our members. She runs another. It's called the Business Gym, and it's in a virtual world. It's more of a computer game kind of style world, like the kind of 80s retro kind of style. But this is what I've seen about the metaverse. This is why I said, "Wow, it's the glasses. I didn't even know you could do that." But that opens up so many options. And Brian, the first thing that comes to mind with you, well, in your previous career, is imagine doing real estate. Imagine doing a virtual walk around of a house that you're trying to sell, and you can someone in America can walk around that house. And so there's a whole heap of business in. I think it's pretty cool.
And likewise for Taekwondo teaching.
Well, exactly, and the global effect of that, and especially if you've got the Connect camera, you can really see the movements that you're making, and you can do video. I think it's a space that is going to be utilized more and more and more, and this is what the world is crazy, because I didn't know Beverly was going to come in today. She just registered to come onto the show, and this is why you should go out and do things, because now I'm like, I want to know more. So Beverly, I'm going to be definitely jumping on a one-to-one with you to learn how I can implement. I've got some business ideas in my head, and I'm like, oh, that'd be great for that. A lot of people tell me to stop. I've got 3, and so I do have shiny object syndrome really badly sometimes. But I would love to know more. I would love to see how I got things like I could do a nightclub. I used to be a DJ, but I don't really want to go out.
Yes, you actually can do that. Now you're thinking, I love your pattern of thought.
That's right.
Because you can, if you think it here, we'll create it right there. And we've already had nightclubs in here, and we've had other musicians in here, as well. And Reddick Bowe is a famous gold medalist boxer over here in the States, and he's actually got his world in here. And we've got underwater worlds and above land where we're doing education. We have a company that's going with us now where we're building out their world, where they can have a lot of things to take the kids on trips, on field trips, and actually teaching classes underwater where the sea animals and stuff are. And there's just so much that we can do. Like I said, I could talk all night on this.
Yeah, I'm so interested to learn more about all of that. And so those other worlds, let's call them the other worlds, do you have to be invited to go into those things?
No, you don't. You don't. You just have to have the link. to sign up to get in. And actually to have your avatar, to create that avatar that you could actually bring in here, because I could turn on another couple things and my avatar could be sitting here talking to you instead of me, right? So it's called readyplayer.me, readyplayer.me. And you just take a nice snapshot of yourself. If you wear glasses, it's best to take the glasses off to have the photograph, and then you can actually put glasses on if you want to wear glasses, with your avatar is fine. And it takes 5 to 15 minutes on tops to be able to create an avatar that actually looks like you.
Maybe not. I don't want two of me. If I'm going to make myself into an avatar, I want to be something a bit different. Maybe.
Well, you can. You can.
I could get an avatar with hair. That'd be good. Hair from the 70s.
I was going to say that, but I didn't want to offend you.
You can make yourself look 20 years younger. And what's really nice about it, so let's just say you get up one day and you just don't really feel it, and so you decide, oh, what the heck, it doesn't matter. I'm going to be in my avatar, because they always look great.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you so much, Beverly, and thank you for Brian as well, coming in and giving us all your knowledge. And these guys do it, and they give this information for you for free. You can go and review that in the recordings and play them back. If you would like an introduction to Brian or Beverly, you can reach out to myself and I'll do that for you. But guys, please stay on while I finish the show, and we'll close off. But thank you for watching. If you're watching it live, and if you are watching it on the recording, we are hosting a networking event in the next couple of weeks, week on Tuesday at 10 o'clock Brisbane time, if you're interested to come and meet Brian, and I'm sure Beverly will come along at some point as well. But have a great day, guys, and thanks to Brian and Beverly again. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you so much.